Hey there, friends. Welcome to a one-of-a-kind journey today. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. We're about to dive deep into a burning question. Why do narcissists always seem to come out on top? But hold tight because there's a twist. Yep, you heard me right, their ego eventually crumbles. That's right. They fall apart in the end. Stick around and I'll show you exactly how. Before we get started, I hope you're all doing well. Let's get right into today's topic and clear up some doubts that might be nagging at you. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the narcissist's game, and spoiler alert, they don't win in the long run. Sure, they might look like they've got it all together, but appearances can be so deceiving. What's really going on? Let's unpack that. First things first, society doesn't like to talk about this, but narcissists? They will crash and burn. You see, these folks are all about appearances. They build this image of themselves as happy, thriving, and living the dream. But underneath all that, it's a mess. As time goes on in any relationship, their true colors come out. They can't hide it forever. Now, here's the thing. Narcissists avoid emotional intimacy like the plague. Why? Because showing vulnerability makes them feel weak, and they can't handle that. To them, opening up is terrifying. So they hide behind this mask of wealth, confidence, and success to protect their fragile egos. They never really grow emotionally because facing their issues would mean admitting they're not perfect, and that's a no-go for them. When a relationship with a narcissist ends, they act like they're perfectly fine. More often than not, they're the ones who walk away first, trying to escape the emotional baggage. Or maybe you've had enough and decide to end things. Either way, they'll act like they're unfazed. But don't let that fool you, it's all a part of their game. Once things fall apart, they try to spin the story. They'll start telling everyone that you were the problem. They'll paint this perfect picture of themselves while smearing your name to keep control of the narrative. And just like that, they move on quickly too. Before you even have time to process things, they're already with someone new. But why? Because they can't stand being alone. Narcissists need constant attention to distract themselves from their own insecurities. They can't be alone because when they are, their darkest thoughts catch up with them. All those fears and doubts they've buried deep inside start creeping in. So they jump from one relationship to the next, never really dealing with their issues. They'll make a big show of how amazing their new relationship is, telling everyone they found their soulmate. But don't be fooled, it's all an act. Remember how they did the same thing with you when you first met? Love bombing you, saying all the right things, making you feel like you were their everything? Here's the truth, they're stuck in a cycle. They don't change, and they definitely don't suddenly find true love with the next person. Logically, it doesn't make sense to go from one relationship to a perfect new one so quickly. It defies emotional and psychological laws. But narcissists are masters at making you believe this fantasy world they've created. So, what's really going on behind the scenes? They're miserable. No matter how perfect their life looks on the outside, they're constantly battling feelings of shame, guilt, and emptiness on the inside. They'll never admit this, of course. They're too busy trying to convince the world and themselves that everything's fine. But why are they always unhappy? Why does their life always seem to fall short of true happiness? It's because they can't truly live in the moment. They're so caught up in their own egos, their own stories, that they can't experience genuine joy with anyone, not even themselves. They're constantly chasing something that doesn't exist, the perfect image, the perfect life. And here's the kicker, they'll never find it. Narcissists are so out of touch with their own emotions, they can't see the truth about themselves. They'll keep repeating the same toxic behaviors they learned as kids, never growing, never changing. Because in their minds, they're not the problem. Admitting they've made a mistake would destroy them, so they refuse to go there. And that's why, in the end, they lose everything. So, here's the big takeaway. The narcissist may look like they're winning, but trust me, their ego always loses. Don't buy into their lies or their fake world. It's all smoke and mirrors. Behind that perfect facade is someone who's deeply unhappy and lost. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you in the next video.